Ladies and gentlemen, as I'm getting ready to start one of my monthlies, which is going to actually be Plague Inc. here, this is what greeted me when I opened up Steam today. Plague Inc. has been banned in China. It's a bit of news. It's interesting. I mean, I don't think anybody anticipated anything like this going on, but here it is. I want to say before I get started with the monthly that COVID-19 it's a big deal. It's nothing we should be making light of, and I actually kind of went back and forth on whether or not I was going to do Plague Inc. for my monthly for this month. But reading the news here, I've actually got a little more respect, I guess, for the guys who created Plague Inc. And reason being, once I really sat down and thought about it, this is a game that you as the player have to learn how to get around everything that is going to prevent an outbreak, a global pandemic, a global epidemic, and all of that. And in a weird Dr. Strangelove backwards kind of way, what it ends up doing is really teaching you how to handle situations like this. Steps you can take to avoid spreading a disease and things like that. So that is really why I've decided to go ahead and play it. So we're going to go ahead and close that. And we're going to jump into Plague Inc. here. I should mention this is Low Bias Monthly for April 2020. 420 every day or whatever the kids do these days. Ragnatz picked for us games that have to do with infections, diseases. I don't remember how he exactly put it out there. But I've got this game, which is going to be a single video, and then another game I'm going to do, which is going to be a little longer, a game I've wanted to play for a little while. And now seemed like a good time to finally get around to getting to that one. This does take a little while to load. If you're interested, there's the O to S range of my Steam library. It's pretty great. Ronin. I could have done Princess Remedy in A World of Hurt, but I didn't. The fake news update. All right. Let's make sure sound is good. It's kind of a loud game. You wouldn't think it, but it kind of is. Watching the meter. Yeah, it should be pretty good. Alright. Look at this rare 1080p game from Jason that is getting recorded down to 720. Maybe. I think we're good. I'll just turn my headphones down. Now, I've played this a bunch of times before, and I have unlocked a few things. We're just gonna go straight bacteria for this one. If you guys want to see more, let me know. I cannot get the necrovirus. I've tried and tried and tried, just can't do it. I know at one point I had the nanovirus unlocked. I think that was on mobile, but I just can't get through the necrovirus. And these are new. I haven't even touched either of those. So, bacteria it shall be. We have a new gene discovered. So what we can do, these are perks, if you're not familiar with the game. So what this does, we get bonus DNA. Or we get DNA from popping orange bubbles. Or we get more DNA from red bubbles. We're going to go with the cytochrome, because I like that one. A Darwinist increases the chance of a mutation. Creationist decreases the chance. A mimic, it's harder to cure. Whew, that was my jaw. Creationist is good. Darwinist is better at the end. Creationist is better at the beginning, but it goes pretty quick. Don't have any of those. Arid climates, humid climates, or rural? Let's take arid. I see bonus when devolving. Costs don't increase. Symptom costs don't increase, but easier to cure. Ability costs don't increase. I want bonus when devolving. And we're going to do that. We will take the Darwinist gene. Our genetic code, our genes, are going to mutate on their own, but then we'll take the mutation out if we don't want it and get points for it. And we're going to call this because it was his idea. Welcome to Plague Inc. So here's the thing that happened today when I was kind of just getting set up and reading some news. Looking at a map of the world, much like this one, as to where the most cases were. If you're familiar with Plague Inc., you'll know that two of the most annoying regions to deal with are Greenland and Madagascar. And on the global map, guess where there weren't any dots? Greenland, Madagascar. So it would make sense to start on one of those, right? Well, I like Iceland. Behold, Reykjavik, I have come to claim you. So, let's talk about the coronavirus a little bit. What are the things that you can do to keep yourself safe? Well, you can wash your hands, of course. So, that's a big thing. Don't go licking any doorknobs. Don't touch your face unless your hands are clean. Try not to touch your face, even if your hands are clean. And you know how hard that is? As soon as I said don't touch your face, how many of you thought, oh, I've got a thing on my face? It's hard. It's real hard. Avoid big crowded areas. Thankfully, this doesn't seem to be something that transmits over the air. So it's got to be on contact, which is nice. If it was airborne, we'd be pretty well screwed. We're going to wait till our DNA points get up to about 24, 25. Actually, I think we want 30. I could check, but I'm not gonna. So yeah, avoid touching any surfaces that are heavy traffic surfaces. Avoid going into tightly packed areas. Things like that, best you can. If you're not feeling well, stay home. I've been home here for 3 or 4 days because I haven't been feeling well. It's middle of March, I should mention, and I've not felt well for a couple days. Took some time off of work even. And when I went and checked what the symptoms were, guess what? I got about 75% of them. So I could have it. Who knows? Thankfully it doesn't travel over microphones. And well, the job that I was doing, this is actually, at the time I'm recording this, the last week of my job that had me going in and out of people's homes all the time. So it is very likely that that is where I picked it up, if I indeed have it. And from that, it is very likely that I could have transmitted it to other people, which is why I've decided I'm taking days off. So transmission, how do we want our bacteria over here to transmit to people down here? We do birds, mammals, bugs, livestock, through blood, through air, or through water. Well, I like going into air, into water. And that's why we waited till we got enough points. So down at the bottom, you see how infectious we are, right here. How severe we are, and how lethal we are. At the beginning, it's kind of a good idea to fly under the radar a bit. Not get caught if you can help it. And that lets you infect more people. Against all climates. Well, we're good for arid climates. We're not great for really cold or damp climates, but we're going to hold off on that. So this gives us resistance to cold temperatures, warm temperatures. This makes us resistant to class 1 or 2 antibiotics, which increases effectiveness in countries who can afford those. And this just protects us against all climates. Symptoms kind of split up: intestinal, respiratory. This one is skin. It's blood. I think this one is. It's kind of like this corner is intestinal. This section is respiratory. This is skin. This is blood. What should you call this one? And this one's more like mental. And you can see down at the bottom, if you look at the bars when you click on stuff, what will go up and what will change. So if I do insomnia, the severity goes up, but the infectivity doesn't change. It just makes people tired, makes them less productive. If we do coughing, our severity doesn't go up much, but our infectivity goes up. I'm just going to sit on these 12 points, and we'll come back when we need 16 and 17. We'll just round that up to 40, 20 for each. Come back to the map. Also, keep an eye on the news ticker up here in the top left. There's some pretty good stuff in there. So, the reason I decided to take a couple days off work, number one, it's my last week. Alright, so here's one of our mutations taking effect. This happened on its own because of that Darwinism trait, so we're going to okay that. We're going to pause, pop over here, find it. We're going to devolve it. I don't want it. That doesn't help us with the flying under the radar thing. So the reason I decided to take some time off for me, well, I didn't feel great. I don't feel terrible. I felt worse right around New Year's when I was dealing with like some borderline pneumonia stuff, but I don't feel good. I have a tiny bit of a dry cough. I have a very mild fever. That's one of the things that comes with it that I don't have. U.S. President buys condo in Greenland. Claims victory. It's usually a high fever. I don't have a high fever. I have a mildly low fever. It's warm for me, but it's about average for what the old average used to be. I have a small dry cough, not a wet, productive cough like I usually get when I get sick. And I've had some tightness in my chest, which is one of the other symptoms. Porg's not cool, says Ewok. So I haven't felt great, and my job requires me to do a lot of walking around and going up and down stairs and crawling under things and getting into things and hauling equipment, and you know, when it's difficult to breathe, not a great thing to do. Brexit sounds great, says Lemming. So I decided for that reason that it would be good for me to stay at home, but instead I go in and out of people's homes a lot, and I didn't want to risk infecting other people. One of the apartments I was going to need to go in this week has a newborn and 2 kids that are under 10. And I don't want to be even potentially infective and infect them. Speaking of infectivity, let's go around the screen real quick because we didn't do that. Top left is our news. Top right is the date and speed. This little slider just does that. It was not in the first version of the game I had, so that's different. I don't know why you would want that, but there you go. This is the cure. How close is the world to curing your disease? This is country by country or worldwide. How many are infected and how many are dead? And then it shows it again here in graph form. Blue is healthy, red is infective, black or gray is dead. We don't have anybody dead yet, so that's not going to show up. Our goal is to turn this blue bar red and then black. And then down here again on the bottom left is our DNA points. We can break this out a bit and get a little more in-depth thing, but it's not super important right now. This just shows us cold climates, warm climates, arid climates, humid climates, rich country, or poor countries, rich countries. making really a lot of thought went into this. We haven't been noticed, which is good. Global priority level, it's fine. And this, I think, goes up as these change. Right now, 58 borders are open, 31 ports, and 20 airports. As these close, it does impact how your virus spreads. We'll get more into that as we go. But we have enough points now. We're going to up our air transmission and our water transmission. And we're going to open up Extreme Bio-Aerosol for 20 points. Pathogen bypasses all air and water filters due to an adaptive cellular shell. It increases infectivity, especially in humid and arid climates, and plane and ship transmission. Air does really well on planes, water does really well on ships. Fresh and warm water, chemically treated water, travel on dust particles. This one lets it survive suspended in the air. So, what we're dealing with now COVID, since it's surface area, these two don't matter much. These a little more, but not much. Okay, onward. Now, if you watch here, this is just Iceland. We've not even got to 10,000 people yet, but we're getting there. And we just hit England. You'll see some little red dots. Maybe you can see them in the video. This is the path our disease has taken, our pathogen. So it's traveled on a plane to Japan. Gotcha, Japan. We have made it to Saudi Arabia. Maybe if we're lucky, we got MBS. And America. So we needed 20 points for our next upgrade. Now, Japan doesn't have any land borders, but America does. America can infect Canada and Mexico and on down. Japan can't infect anybody. England can't really infect anybody nearby. But Saudi Arabia can. It can spread down through Africa or up through Asia, even into Europe. But we haven't focused too much on land infectivity. We've just really been kind of working on air and water just to get off of Iceland, because that's how you get off of Iceland. And what we want to do is we want to stay as unnoticed as possible for as long as possible to get to some of these areas that we can't get to by land. Greenland, Madagascar, Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines. We want to be able to get to these areas here before they start shutting down their seaports and their airports. If a country's got an anchor, it has an airport. If it has an anchor is a seaport, excuse me. If it's got an airplane, it's got an airport. If it's got both, it has both. If it doesn't have any, it doesn't have either. So all these new red bubbles that are popping up here in Europe, this is all land-based transmission. Less vulnerable to disease in rich countries. Well, that means we're going to need to tackle that, aren't we? Now, not every airport flies to every airport. I don't think Saudi Arabia ever flies to Cuba. Because Cuba doesn't have an airport. Basically what I mean is you're not going to see a ship from Cuba go all the way over to Japan. So it's kind of, you got to get to places, we just ended up in China, that neighbor other places and hope that you catch a ride somewhere. So our infectivity has gone up quite a bit. Now we want 6 points to work on our bacterial resilience. So we're going to get 10 points. I like to go up to the next 5 or 10, depending on what it is. Just gives me some points to spare. So we'll get 10 points. We'll add to our bacterial resilience to increase our effectivity and our infectivity in wealthy countries. Excuse me. All right, what what do we want to work on next? This is actually pretty good, so we'll go 15 points. We'll start working on that. I realize, after I looked at that, I picked the wrong one. Got into Madagascar. Good, now we just need to get into Greenland. Now remember, we are infectious right now. That killed nobody. Just infecting people. We're not even giving them symptoms at the moment. We are just infecting people. There's Cuba. Now we've unlocked genetic hardening. Makes it harder to analyze, which decreases future research speed. Still haven't been noticed. This is where we're at. Still haven't got to Greenland. Getting there. I would imagine that would happen relatively soon. And the more red the country, the more we have infected that country. Probably didn't need to tell you that, but I probably didn't need to tell you a lot of what I told you. But I did. As you infect countries and you get these red DNA bubbles for the DNA points, you only get these once. Yeah, gotcha. Scientists increased understanding of tumors. So tumors is something we want to avoid because it will make it easier for us to be cured. Getting there. These are the healthy nations. These are the infected nations. Infected more of the world than it's not. And if it's a darker red, it's heavily infected. Still, haven't been noticed. Low profile. Just kind of wanna let it happen. Now, it's talking about the DNA bubbles. You infect a country, you get a red one. You hang out in a country, you get an orange one, kind of at random. As you start mutating and becoming lethal, you will gain more DNA points. DNA points are not unlimited. They do run out. So you see we're very infective now. That's going up, and our DNA points are going up on their own. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that, because I don't want it to top up. Let's take a look. Just a couple African countries. And New Guinea. New Guinea's always been a thorn in my side. Gotcha. Now we're just gonna wait. Pause fairly often. Wait, no, it went over. That's alright. So, who's left? Morocco and Algeria. Just right there. Consider that. So, let's take one heat resistance. It's also rather rural. So, we'll go through livestock. And that's it. That's all we're going to do right now. Still going to go up. We'll just wait for our two bubbles to show up over here. Should happen relatively soon. Since we started in Iceland, we don't need to worry about cold. I'm going to wait for coughing. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. For those two, should be any time. We've infected over half the population of the planet. That's Algeria. Who's left? Morocco. Yep. I don't know why, but in my mind, Morocco is always here, where Algeria is. Not like I get them backwards. I just think it goes farther. Okay, that's it. We have infected every country. But I'm not ready yet. Not ready yet. Build up our points. We're gonna let this bar fill up a little more. I want it to be 90% full. Now, of course, the problem is we've infected everybody over here, and up here, and down here, and over here. We can't infect them anymore. We have to make the disease more infective so it will cross borders, which is where we do the wind and water thing, and farm animals and that kind of thing. We don't really need to worry about insects, because that's only going to really affect certain areas. But right now, we go to, so it's our richer countries that are doing okay. And we knew they would be because of that breakthrough. The rats are a good counter to that. So let's let the rats take it. Watch that number and it'll start to go up. Don't want my rash yet. Don't want it. Just waiting. Just waiting. Just gonna wait. Look at that. It's starting to get a little red up there in Canada and West Africa. Now remember, 6 billion people infected. Hadn't killed anybody yet. They don't even know we exist yet. The world has not noticed us. That infected get up to, what do we think? We'll just go up to 7 billion people. The more noticeable you are, the more people pay attention to you, and the more they want to stop you. Maybe flooding in America. That would mean that we should probably look into water and other things like that for America. Don't need to worry about it. We'll take coughing. That one stay. Up to 7. Come on. Now we open the gates. Insomnia. Paranoia. And now we see our lethality start to go up a little bit. We don't need to worry about infection rates so much. We've got that pretty much covered. But we don't want to make ourselves too lethal too fast and kill all the sick people and leave all the healthy people. So we still need to be a little more concerned about infectivity. So we're going to take pneumonia. Pulmonary fibrosis is great. It can be fatal. So that's our first little nick of fatality. And boom, total organ failure. Big old jump in lethality. We're going to sit on that one for a minute. Take. Wish I could skip nausea and go right to something else. Edema. That's all. That's all we're going to do for now. You watch how quickly people notice. 162 dead. People are going to start noticing. New minor disease spreading. First death in Peru. 3,000, 15,000, 40,000, 100,000, 200,000, 400,000. Japan shut down the airport. Well, guess what? It's too late. Iceland starts to work on the cure. Now that's when this down here at the bottom right is going to start happening. When I was playing this mobile, I actually paid for a perk. It was like $2 where as you stopped the cure, you got bonus DNA. So our cure is 10% done. I don't like that that's 10%. Let's fix that. Let's make it hard to cure. Let's add cysts. Just to get those last little people. The WHO watch list. Brazil leading global cure effort. So blue planes break that bubble. That will slow down cure development. How many healthy people we got left? 16 million. And you can see how quickly we shut everything down. No more planes, very few boats. Peru distributed face masks, but it's too late. We've already infected everybody. Canada shuts land borders, or border. Now, what do you say? Combine that with coma. Makes it harder to cure. Seizures developed on their own. No more healthy people. You've infected everybody. Now we just wait to run our course. And hopefully I put enough into slowing the cure down and our lethality. As there are more dead people, it becomes harder to cure. Because you don't have people to experiment and work on. Slows down research. And this might tick up just a little bit every once in a while. And this will speed up and slow down depending on how we handle things. Our abilities. 26 for that. So we'll see if we can get up to 26 points. But just watch this number start to shift. Those are 26 points. And that's going to knock that down from 54 to 48. 31 for the next one. Multiple strains of the pathogen exist. So we'll get 35 and then we'll hit that. There we go. I don't know if you've noticed, but our look has changed a bit over here. We've become more complex. UK first to fall into anarchy. No cure research can take place in the UK. See how much this has slowed down and how much this has changed. Genes manipulated. Oh no! That's bad for us. What do you do to fix that? 29 points will help with that. 29 points. It's become more complex. This is the eerie time of the game when we've wiped out nearly everybody. There's basically 500,000 people left on the planet right now. Kazakhstan's government has fallen. But the 13 people left in Brazil are still flying to China and Russia to try and work on the cure. Philippines approve a human experimentation. 200 million people left. Work on the cure is all but stopped. Still working. 120 million people left. Let's go. 65 million people left. Australia shuts land borders. Oh no. 40 million people left. $25 million. 20 million. $15 million. $10 million people left. The government of Botswana has fallen. Lasted longer than Kazakhstan, at least. We have 5 million people left. Peru has fallen. 3 million people. Bolivia has fallen. 2 million people. Russia has fallen. 1 million people. Central America. Despite the world's best efforts, the last few humans now die in the flames. 500,000 people left. $200,000 people. 100,000. 25,000 people. 1,000. Ragvid 2020 has successfully eliminated all life on Earth. Here's a playback of how it happened. And not a great score. That's alright. It took me 1,126 days. Now, let's talk real quick. Serious note. Is this how the coronavirus is going to go? No, it's not how the coronavirus is going to go. It is more infective than some other diseases we've run into. I don't remember what the percentage was. I heard it's been a couple of weeks since I heard it, but it is more infective. It is harder to catch because of how it spreads, but it is very easy to catch when you can catch it that way. It is fairly lethal, but it is not terribly lethal. It doesn't kill everybody that gets it. It is still worth being prepared for. It is still worth being cautious of, because you may not be, as I am, one of the people who are at risk of dying from the coronavirus, but you may be around people who are. People with compromised immune systems, young children, the elderly, things like that. And that is who is going to, like most any disease, that is who is going to get it and get hit by it the worst. And because of that, you need to have some precautions about where you go and who you hang out with. It's kind of the vaccination argument. You know, I'm not as vaccinated as I should be, and that makes me a health risk for other people who could die from something that I catch. What what we need to realize is we're all in this together. And just because you don't feel like you've got symptoms doesn't mean you can't spread them to others. And that's something to be mindful of. So, wash your hands. Try not to poke your face too much. Don't lick things that you wouldn't normally lick. I mean, I don't know your life. I'm not going to judge you, but if it's not something, if your mom saw you licking it and told you to stop, stop. That's probably a good rule of thumb there. We're all going to be fine. It's going to be a little scary for some people. It's going to be a little hard for some people. But we're going to be fine. Don't panic. Don't bother trying to hoard toilet paper and hand sanitizer. If you're stuck in your house anyway, all the hand sanitizer in the world ain't going to help you because you ain't going to be out touching things. You ain't. Eat healthy. Drink lots of water. Keep yourself well hydrated. Get some juice, man. Eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, apple juice, orange juice, grape juice, all that stuff. Nothing is going to cure it off the shelf, but there are things that can help your body be more prepared to fight it off. I eat like a garbage disposal. I really and truly do. But I do eat healthy, along with the crap that I just shovel into my gob. I take some vitamins every day. I drink some orange juice every day. I mean, I'm no Superman or anything, but I'm fairly competent that I'm going to come out of the other end of this upright. So if I can do it, you can do it. Just think about the other people around you who may not be able to do it when you decide to go out and get in the middle of something, okay? Stay calm, stay safe. You're going to be all right. Coronavirus is not going to do what Ragvid 2020 did.